Six are naked dudes. That's why I built this pool.
Welcome to
Take Off Your Pod and Cast It.
That's a question today.
That's right.
That's appropriate.
How are we doing today, Ken?
I've never been better. It's a blizzard.
It's snowing. It's like the middle of March.
Yeah, we asked guests to brave a blizzard and drive an hour and a half to come join us to talk about a very non-blizzard-like place, the California era of Blink-182. Today, we have on two friends of mine who I know are big fans of pop punk, going to shows, and presumably Blink-182. I don't even know that much if you all have any feelings about Blink at all in particular, but we're going to find out. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Sarah and Cameron Powers.
Hello.
Howdy, y'all.
Yay. All right. So, question to both of you. When was the first time you remember hearing Blink-182?
Probably Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, 2001. Listening to Every Time I Look at You, Roller Coaster, First Date. Just hearing all those songs on like local radio stations and everything like really hyped me up, and then I kind of backtracked from there. And then of course the Untitled album came out, and that was fucking huge, and I was hooked for life, and it helped me through a lot of good times and bad times.
Honestly, I really don't think I would be able to say when I started listening to them.
They've always been there.
Yeah, they've just
kind of been there.
I was born and they were there.
Yeah.
I mean, that is literally true.
Yeah,
but
They formed the year I was born. Like, they were just there.
Yeah.
Cameron has a spiritual connection because him and Mark Hoppus are exactly 30 years apart. They have the same birthday.
Same birthday. Nice.
20 years
March
apart.
20 years. March 15th.
Whoa, it's about to be your birthday.
And Mark Hoppus's.
Yes.
Happy birthday to the two of you.
Mark Hoppus is turning 50 years old.
Whoa.
I kind of thought he was older. I thought he was like in his 50s. He's got gray hair now.
Yeah.
It looks good.
It does look. It looks awesome. This is the Daddy Mark we were waiting
Cancer
for.
was just what he needed.
Dang, dog.
We love you, Mark. But today we are talking about the deluxe edition of California.
Today we are investigating a question. This is what the question I hope to answer by the end of this episode. Last episode we established that Travis Barker wanted to just release all of the songs that they recorded for California on one album.
28 songs.
Yes, and
almost 2 hours.
The rest of the members and John Feldman said no. That's ridiculous. That's an hour and 20 minutes and we're a punk band. But Travis was adamant, and they eventually released them. So we will know by the end of the episode, was Travis Barker right or wrong? Stay tuned.
So we have 12 new songs here, an additional 40 minutes of music. And it was released as a deluxe edition in May of 2017, about exactly a year after the original album. And unlike the deluxe edition of Neighborhoods, they just added the extra songs at the end on a second disc rather than redo the track listing, which I kind of disagree with. I would have loved to hear what Travis's like ideal track listing would have been. Mm-hmm. Do you know the original title? Because I did more research this time than the first episode, so I have a couple more facts. Do you know the original title of California was No Future, but it was ditched for being too negative, and these 12 songs, seem like they were also ditched for being way too negative.
Yeah, interesting. I talked about how if you just went by track titles, California looks like a dark album, like Bored to Death, No Future, Home is Such a Lonely Place Without You. Yeah. But not including these songs we're going to talk about today. Were you all excited about California coming out? Were you thinking about Blink at all? Had any opinions on Matt Skiba joining when Tom left?
Oh, I love Matt Skiba. I'm really sad that Tom DeLonge chose a different path, and he always has a special place in my heart. But I love Matt. I've listened to Alkaline Trio growing up, And actually, we saw them live. God, when was that?
Like
last year?
2-3 months, November.
Yes, and they were phenomenal, and we were right in front of Matt.
Hell yeah.
Like
Where was
on
that at?
stage? The National, actually.
Nice.
And I was actually hype about it. Of course, I heard the naysayers, and it's understandable because Tom is a huge part of Blink-182, but I was definitely going to give it a chance, and I know different bands go through different eras and everything, and I genuinely liked it. I was actually really excited about it.
I was pretty excited because they released, I think it was Rabbit Hole was the single. I thought it was a bop, so it got me hyped.
Right on.
Yeah, I think the general feel from most people we've talked to about this is like, yeah, it's a bummer that Tom was leaving, but you just want more Blink.
I mean, honestly, yeah.
In any way possible.
Yeah.
It's weird, though, because I was not nearly as excited about Plus 44 as I was about New Blink.
Right.
When they're basically the same concept.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Plus 44 was just Mark's response to like Boxcar Racer and
I Can Do It Too.
Angels and Airwaves. So like I can do an electronic sound. Like look at this. Look.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The original idea of it being kind of like a Postal Service electronic pop record, I really wish he had just stuck with that plan.
Like I want to hear that album, and I want to hear what California was before Feldman came in.
Because yeah, there were 15 songs written at the end of 2015 that were ditched before these 28 songs. So they wrote altogether like 50 something songs
With Matt Skiba.
before
this producer.
before California even came out. That's a lot.
I bet you it would have been sick. Like a 4-disc album.
Yeah, I want that.
I like this better for a couple reasons, and a primary one is I don't feel as bad skipping songs when there are 28 of them.
Interesting.
Because there's a lot of skippers on both of these CDs, and I don't feel as bad when it's like, well, I still got 19 more songs to go.
Yes.
Let's
For those who didn't tune in last week, Ripley, not a big fan of California.
I like this side better. I like side 2 better.
Okay, that's a bold statement that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Yes.
The lost songs.
We didn't talk much about the art direction. I like the black better than the white on the original California.
True that.
But this was the second rejected design. So D-Face was just an artist that Travis was a big fan of. And he asked him to do the art, and dude was like not a Blink-182 fan. He even says like, I'm not a fan, but to have a band with such a great legacy and talent like Blink asked to work with you is a great honor and privilege. And then in later interviews he admits he just like sent them a couple old designs he'd already done.
Cool.
So like, dude was all about the paycheck, and I think that's hilarious.
Yes.
Sick cover though.
Yeah, another bit that came out right before the deluxe edition is this little tweet right here with Obama rating it on YouTube, and this is actually a thing.
What?
Obama likes Blink.
Whoa.
I
We
call
listen to this at the
horseshit.
White House all day. We love Blink-182. I imagine it's his kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
he would have been crucified for not using proper grammar or capitalization,
well,
punctuation.
boomers are like over that now. Like it's a weird thing there. But he would release those playlists every Christmas. Do you remember that?
Definitely.
Yeah, it
'Cause he
was
was
like more like the Fugees and like
There'd be a couple rock songs on there.
like Bruce Springsteen or something.
Yeah.
Like
Ooh, that's what we'll do. We'll go over all 28 of his
Oh my
albums.
I will be looking forward to that.
Boss is my favorite. No, we just do a Talking Dead style podcast about Springsteen and Obama's podcast.
Is that still a thing?
I hope not.
You'd
I
think
don't
that'd
know.
be the biggest podcast ever.
No, you wouldn't.
I mean, so what other research have you done for us? What else
that's it.
did you learn?
I figure we could get into the album.
Okay, right on.
I have some things to say as we go, but let's listen to the best song they've done with Matt Skiba first, Parking Lot.
Starts to sound like Metallica for a second. Then it sounds like old Blink.
They let him use his Alkaline Trio voice.
Yeah. I would assume he wrote this song. It's lyrics about Chicago.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I love Matt's voice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what the yellow laces thing is?
No.
It's talking about like skinhead culture and like bootlace code. And yellow is like anti-racist skinheads.
Oh, okay.
So he's like talking about weird shit. The kids listening to this have no idea what he's talking about.
Sometimes you got to stick to your roots.
This album breaks the rule of never mention a better song. Like, you know, in movies, like never bring up a better movie
Yes.
than your movie.
Don't make me think about something that I'd be enjoying more.
Yeah, they do that a lot on this. Like, they did it with The Cure on the first ones, but like, Joni Mitchell's probably better than you guys. Like,
Or a parking lot is better than you guys.
And we listen to the Smiths and the
Smiths. Violet
yeah,
Femmes.
this.
Say, why can't I get one kiss?
Like, you can't blatantly reference a song like that that's better than the song you're singing.
Yeah, exactly. Is it self-aware or is it delusional? I don't
Yes.
know. Yes.
These fluorescent lights will wait.
But I always think about the chorus here.
Fuck this place, let's put up a parking lot.
In the 80s, a bunch of movie villains are always like business capitalists, and that was like a threat in a couple movies. I always think of UHF, the like Donald Trump-like character wants to tear down the UHF station, and he says, "I'm going to turn it into a parking lot," and like that's like the evil thing that like those villains would say. And I bet Blink-182 is just like in Matt Skiba at the time we're hearing those guys say that and be like, that sounds rad, dude. I'm not watching U62. I want to skateboard in this parking lot.
It's a major plot of Pootie Tang, one of the greatest movies ever made.
Which I just saw for the first time.
Really?
Yeah. Very weird movie.
Louis C.K. wrote and directed that.
It's very strange.
Very strange.
You got David Cross doing blackface in that one. No one's caught that yet. I hope I didn't just get him canceled by somebody picking that up.
I bet you that age
You
very
Hannibal Buress,
nicely.
David Cross. On your shitty Blink-182 podcast.
Yeah, he didn't know he was being filmed. I at least know this is going out there. Hannibal did it by accident.
So this was actually planned to be the first single on the original California, and Feldy was like, "You really gonna ask a radio DJ to be excited about introducing a song called Misery?"
Like, we can get into misery if there's business involved. Misery business?
Yuck,
Hey,
yuck.
just misery. What, are you playing around with misery, Blink? No, thank you. Only if you mean business.
I mean, not every band can be this upbeat ska band like Goldfinger, you know.
You're right.
It's like not every band's Goldfinger, John. Like, get over it.
If they had covered Superman on this, I would like it so much more.
Would we all like this album more or less if there were horns through the whole thing?
Definitely more.
I think brass can only make things better. Throw some brass in.
Yeah.
I'd give it a shot. I wouldn't be too optimistic about it, but I would at least hear them out, hear what they had to say, but probably hate it in the end.
Well, like, the first Springsteen tour after Clarence Clemens died, he brought like 19 more people on stage. Like, a full horn section replaced him. Like 3 more drummers. Tom Morello's there. Like, I really wish Blink had gone that route and like replaced Tom with like 5 people. Like, hey, we're a full-on ska band now with 4 guitars.
How the fuck are you gonna like have all those horns and shit, but with like Travis Barker's like drum flipperoo thingamajig that
Fuck
he
it,
has?
he's just spinning around the background. You got the trumpet going nuts.
I feel like that would be like way too much going on, and my head would just explode.
Yeah, that's why I think it would have been a much better move.
At least we wouldn't do the direct one-to-one comparison. Like, I thought it was funny pulled up the Wikipedia for California, and it's like the first sentence of it is like, this is the first album after Tom DeLonge leaves the band. It's like, it can't just say like, this is the 9th album by Blink-182 or whatever.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's kind of a big deal because he was huge.
Yeah.
With that.
This song, He Does the Thing, I was thinking about you because you gave such shit about the lyrics in the last episode, and in this song, He Does the Thing, Pete Holmes has a bit about how, like, if one more person rhymes home and phone and alone, like the most basic instinct for when you're thinking of writing a song. You're writing the song because you're lonely, and then you're writing how you're lonely and waiting for the phone to ring just because those words rhyme. Try harder. And he straight up does that in these songs. The most obvious rhymes.
Well, the lyrics on the bonus tracks are better.
You think so?
This whole thing is better.
And we flipped.
I dig this song.
I don't hate this song at all. I don't hate any of these songs. I think just... All right, here's what happened. I got Stockholm Syndrome from the first half of this because I didn't think I'd like it. I listened to California a week or two straight. I was like, this fucking rules. And there was like this euphoria from discovering it for the first time, and I expected round 2 of that to happen. So I just had such high expectations for this second half of the release, and I'm like, all right, this is more of the same. I get it. Like, it's not, it didn't deliver on being life-changing to me like the first. Yeah, California's life-changing to me. I'll say that.
So before we move on to Good Old Days, I just want to watch a brief clip of my favorite movie.
Okay.
What was that beat that we were messing with once that was like wah 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 wah? Yeah. What was that?
This is Good Old Days.
Wait, what?
That melody.
Oh.
Just give it a second.
We should mess with that.
That was The Lonely Island.
So this is going to come up on the next episode too. Multiple songs from Skiba Blink sound like Connor for Real songs.
Whoa.
There's 2 on the next album.
I did not know.
They just watched the movie Pop Star and said that's what we should do.
I saw The Lonely Island. I saw their second show ever. You guys seen The Lonely Island? You go to concerts all the time.
We've not seen The Lonely Island. I would love to, but I have
you
not.
said second show ever?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they
ever.
never were like a live band. They
Right.
were more of like a thing before they like.
Yeah, it was just like Saturday Night Live
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
and then the movie and the albums, but like they'd never like gone on tour. And their first official show of the tour after their first like test show was at Bonnaroo, and I saw them right after Post Malone, and it was a great anecdote to how seriously into Post Malone everyone was there.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Posty.
I mean, me
I
too.
enjoy his music. I think he's a cool dude.
I do too. When I saw him, I was just like, he has this song Rockstar that doesn't rock at all, but when you see him on stage, you're like,
Yeah.
I get why this guy... Sometimes you see a band or an artist and you don't even like the music, but you're like, I see why people thought to give this guy money.
Right, yeah.
You know?
it's like, this guy's like one of the bros, dude. Like, just hang
I mean,
out.
Post Malone's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's really big into playing Magic the Gathering.
Oh, really?
Yo,
Like, has a,
he's
like-
so cool.
He's a frequent guest on a magic show that I watch, and
Whoa.
he's just like does it because he is way more into that. So like, he's not getting paid for it or anything. He just like is nerd about it. I think that's
Aw,
great.
I love that.
I appreciate when like famous people do shit that loses them money just because they're having fun doing it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you should get him on this podcast to talk about Blink under the guise of it being about magic. Talk about the magic gathering of Mark Hoppus and Matt Skiba.
What kind of deck do you think Mark Hoppus would have?
Cancer.
Damn.
I was wrong, apparently. Have you ever seen someone live that you thought you'd hate, and you're like, okay, that was fucking
Ooh,
awesome.
good question.
Those are my favorite kinds of shows. I wasn't even into Lady Gaga. I was just taking my girlfriend
That's
at
it
the time.
for me too. I saw her do a show with a jazz quartet.
Whoa.
And it was fucking incredible, and I was on board from there.
Where was that?
At the House of Blues in Boston. It was announced the morning before.
Whoa.
And my sister was like, do you want to go get in line and see if we can see this? That seems like a thing you can't say no to. Tickets were like $10.
That's awesome.
So we did it. Great.
House of Blues in Boston, previously visited on this podcast.
I'm trying to go back to your question though. Like I genuinely liked every single show that I've seen. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been like dragged along to a show. Usually, if I'm going, it's because I have. I don't know. Actually,
well, we got dragged to. It was Mount Joy and Trampled by. It was it was Mount Joy and Trampled by Turtles, and they were playing at a park in Richmond. Where was that?
I don't fucking know. Just
Yeah, Maymont or
yes, Maymont.
Yeah. And
it was alright. It was not my thing.
We're not big into like the whole.
And I'm gonna go ahead and preemptively call. We're gonna go see Lord Huron in Charlottesville because it's Candace's birthday in July.
Yes.
We already have tickets to that. I'm preemptively calling it. I don't think I'm gonna like it at all. I hope to be pleasantly surprised.
We're not. I'm not a big fan of like the Lumineers style, like
indie,
like boom slap. Yeah, harmonica,
Stomp, stomp, clap.
Yes.
Well, that's good. Low expectations makes it easier to like
Right,
something.
I mean, ultimately, we'll be hanging out with friends, so I don't really give a shit.
This is my
Friends.
second favorite song on this song. This is the like appropriate sequel to "Stay Together for the Kids."
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I was thinking you would like this song because it would be Mark admitting what you were saying last week, that none of these lyrics mean anything.
Well, no, this song actually like has meaning. They're both talking about their relationship with their parents. And Mark is talking about his mother after the divorce, and Matt is singing about his dad that left him, and just like it's at least they're singing about something. Which they don't do much on this album.
Yeah, this is one of the tracks that I'm like, it sounds like a single. I'm surprised it didn't get on the first half.
They were really trying to present themselves as like fun party, old Blink nostalgia. And in doing so, they really got rid of any depth or heart that this album has, because all these songs have that. And I don't think many on the other one do.
And you know what Mark has to say to that, to you, for not having a lot of songs about depth?
Na 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 na.
He says, hey, I'm sorry. This is him apologizing to you for not bringing it in that regard. This is the biggest one that I'm like, this is single quality. How did this not get on?
Maybe that was their response to them being told that they weren't upbeat enough and everything. They made the whole album California themed and just kind of made fun of the whole situation.
Yeah, they were
It's a conspiracy.
definitely trying to set themselves apart from the last decade of like Tom being in Blink. With like much more lighthearted. This is more of a take off your pants and jacket sequel than anything else.
And there's more piano on the second half. But this chorus coming up, I could just imagine kids bouncing to this at a show.
Yeah, I could see that.
This seems like a banger for a live.
The tour after this, they played a lot of these songs.
Oh, yeah?
And I think they recognized that this was like, shit, maybe we should have kept a lot of these songs. Because there are so many songs in the original that I would cut for this one.
Well, I asked you to provide me the playlist that you think should have been California.
And I said it would be 3 songs and a minute and a half long. So
I mean, that's a great idea for an EP. If the entire preview of California was just those 3 short songs.
I mean, I'd still be pretty hyped for it.
Yeah.
What if they just released Can't Get You More Pregnant, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Built This Pool? Like,
Do you two love Built This Pool?
I do.
broken up again.
I think it's great. Because when we first listened to it, I was just like, okay, yeah, we popped the whole album in, and I was just like, all right, cool. I like the way it starts off, and then I'm like,
What is it, like 5 seconds?
yeah, I want to see some naked dudes. And it's just like, that's it.
Did you get a count how many times it got played on the last episode?
I believe 21.
21.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Not enough.
I actually, that's about what I would guess.
Those are
enough,
rookie
she said.
numbers.
You're
Pump
right.
those
At
numbers
least 70 more times.
Well, we have to play it every time we say it contractually. That's been established on this pod. So if you want to hear it more, just say it 22 more times.
Yeah, our Blue Chew and Casper mattress sponsors have told us that it's required. So when you get to the 9 minutes of podcast commercials halfway through, that's how we pay for playing Built This Pool that many times. Man, more and more podcasts are doing straight up like 10 minutes of commercials in the middle.
Uh-huh.
My finger can't hit fast forward that fast.
Yeah, it's like your finger becomes bigger and the button becomes smaller. It's like, why am I not hitting it like when it was just 30 seconds? Hey, I'm sorry, but all these songs sound so samey to me. I know I already said it, but my mind was blown by up to here. And then having to do 2 more weeks of this? I'm just like, I have heard this sound before.
Well, we're recording a little out of order, guys. So, like, we took a break.
I mean,
and listened to a better band.
hey, all albums need fillers.
Definitely. Did oh, go ahead.
Even if they all sound the same, it's just taking time.
Pause it. All right, so will you go to YouTube? Last episode, Patrick played with Korn, which has nothing to do with Blink-182. So I figure, like, since this is part 2 of the episode, we should do something similar. And I'm not enjoying this album as much right now, so maybe we'll play something just like I did with Maroon 5 last episode that made you start enjoying the songs more.
I don't think you need to do this.
Oh, I'm doing it. Just so the next song coming up is Last Train Home. Let's type in Last Train Home and see what comes up on YouTube.
Which one?
Just type in Last Train Home, and I want to see what the first...
Yeah, there's...
I know. Press enter. I want to see what the results come up with. All right, so let's go with the first option.
We love it. It's great.
All right, let's see which version's better. This is John Mayer's release single from his new album Sob Rock, and I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts.
This is Africa by Toto.
Yes. Exactly.
I like his outfit. Got a sick ass pink fender.
He's a sexy man. I just saw him live on my birthday, first show of the tour.
Nice.
Oh, yeah? I was afraid of getting shit for this as soon as
Someone told him that this is Africa by Toto, right?
This whole album is like... yeah. This whole album is like 80s worship. It's like conscious, trying to like call back to a bunch of stuff. There's like a Dire Straits thing. There's a Talking Heads thing.
But I mean, this is good for you misery business level.
Yes.
Like...
He has a great sound, but he seems like a kind of a dick, like in real life. But great voice.
I bless the rains down in Africa.
I'm running for the last train. I'm running for the last.
I used to worship him because he was like a comedian on stage. Like he would talk way too much between every song, and his concerts would be like 3 hours long. And he didn't like talk at all this last time I saw him.
I was pissed.
Yeah, it's like somebody told him to finally shut the fuck up, which I found interesting. And my theory is that...
people were showing up less and less.
Maybe. My theory is that he used to do comedy tours where it was him and Dave Chappelle co-headlining, where like he'd be on stage and just riff with Chappelle, and he'd play like licks while Chappelle talked. And with what's going on with Chappelle, he's like, maybe I should not talk into a microphone as much these days. Maybe I should say less, since that's what I've been most famous for lately.
Do we need to hear more of this?
Oh yeah, we got a celebrity cameo coming up because John Mayer is famously likes to bring in whoever the hot chick of the moment is to sing 2 lines on his singles.
Ooh, I wonder who the hot chick of the moment is.
It's way more disappointing than his last when he did it with Taylor Swift or Katy Perry.
Okay, so what? June 2021. I'm trying to like figure out. All right, who would be the hot chick of the moment? Oh shit.
It's Maren Morris, country singer. What?
Who?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
About, what?
Exactly. What are you doing, John? You used to get Taylor Swift to do this.
He's getting older.
Yeah, this is not an exciting lead single.
Wait, this is a single?
This is a release single for his new album.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
I've
not-
always thought of him as like mom rock, and that checks out.
Yeah.
He becomes it more and more, yeah.
It's kind of like Train, but not Train.
I saw Train last year, too.
I'm sorry.
Ken getting called out.
All right, so now that we've done that, now I'm excited to hear Blink-182.
I think we'll appreciate it more.
Last Train Home.
Something tells me I will definitely like this more than...
You're not a John Mayer guy?
Not that song, no.
What John Mayer songs are you all about, Cameron? No answer is an
Can't
answer.
name a single one.
Gravity.
There you go, okay.
His scene in the Chappelle Show is fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah. That's the first time I ever saw him, I think. I forgot about that, actually.
Play the fight riff.
Yes.
I'll take the last train home.
Someone involved with this band was in Lost Prophets. The drummer, Brooks Wackerman, wasn't he in Lost Prophets? Who also sang Last Train Home?
That can't be true.
Lost Prophets' big song was Last Train Home.
Yeah, I knew it.
And we brought up Lost Prophets recently, just tangentially for some reason.
Last train, I found something I would die for.
Maybe it's not Brooks Wackerman. God damn it.
He's with Avenged Sevenfold? What?
Yeah, he's the guy who replaces Travis when they play in Australia, because Travis won't fly.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder why he won't. It's so weird.
Could have been a thing. Just some weird thing he's got, you know?
He's also on Tom's collection of songs he wrote for Blink, and then after he got fired, he released them with Brooks Wackerman on drums.
Interesting.
Will you look up Lost Prophets?
Do I have to?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a must.
I hate when people just like leave out punctuation or spacing or randomly capitalize letters.
Sometimes it's aesthetically pleasing, though.
I don't see any names I recognize. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, Elon Rubin. That's the dude in fucking Angels and Airwaves. And his other fucking band.
There you go.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so it's...
I'm a big Angels and Airwaves stan, so...
Yeah, he's the fucking dude who plays drums on...
That's what it is.
There we go.
I knew it was a drummer.
He has a band that he's doing. What is it called?
We saw them.
The New Regime, I believe
Yes,
it's
the
called.
New Regime. Yes. There you go.
He played right before Angels and Airwaves, and it was actually kind of good.
Kind of good.
Like, you know, just like a modern rock.
Word.
I mean, this album's still full of great stuff, like Travis going nuts through everything. As long as Travis is playing, I'm pretty interested for the most part, even if I don't care about the song.
I mean, he's the only drummer in pop
Wait, does
punk.
that also transfer to everything Travis has been featured in?
Good God.
Oh yeah, we've got an episode coming up that nobody's going to suspect until now with that suggestion.
Haven't we talked about it twice now?
Maybe.
He's the drummer of every pop punk band ever.
Since like 2003.
Yeah.
and hip hop for some reason.
Because he's the only drummer with a name anymore. Because
Yeah.
rock doesn't
Yeah.
exist.
Well, it's like if like some artist that is usually doing like more pop music or more like hip hop music wants to let everyone know they're like switching to pop punk. They put featuring Travis Barker in the first hit. Like, yeah, so Machine Gun Kelly, Willow, all these people, they're pop punk, so they got Travis on it.
We
Like,
got the brand representative to okay this.
yeah, he's the
the face of pop punk.
Yes, you're allowed to accept MGK as pop punk now.
as long as Travis Barker's on it.
Speaking of Willow, that album is a fucking absolute
Willow's latest
banger.
album slaps,
I love
dude.
it.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
Yeah, Willow's new record, Avril's new record.
Haven't listened to Avril's yet, but I need to.
Oh my god, it's good. It's really good.
It's on Travis Barker's record label,
yeah,
I
and
believe.
the backing band is Travis, Mark Hoppus, and John Feldman.
Oh, sick.
Fuck
Yeah.
John Feldman, the producer of this
Yeah.
record. Yeah.
I mean, John Feldman's got
Maybe we'll listen to that on the
a
drive
track
home.
record.
No, it's good start to finish. I love
Oh my
it.
god.
So can we go to YouTube real quick? I didn't plan on this, but now I'm just seeing what the first thing that comes up. The next song is Wildfire, one word. Will you type in Wildfire song?
Wild thing.
No. No.
Wait, I just want to see if it's the first thing that comes up when you press enter. Okay,
Michael
it's the third.
Martin Murphy.
John does have a song called Wildfire that was a lead single for an album, and it's just weird that there are two songs on an album.
This is a new
What if
conspiracy
it's
theory.
a concept album about John Mayer? That's why they didn't release it.
But this came out before Last Train Home.
John Mayer is the hidden songwriter of Blink
Yeah,
182.
he ghost wrote this whole album.
Yeah, Travis produced this, maybe.
Yeah, so let's listen to Wildfire. I've been listening to Last Podcast on the Left. One of my favorites is doing the Heaven's Gate cult.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was listening to them. That might be a really old episode, but I was listening to that the other day, and then I was listening to this. It was like, okay, I hope they're singing about the cult.
Is that wait, is Wildfire a cult?
No, but they talk about Heaven's Gate quite a bit in the chorus.
Oh, see, I tune out on this album. By the time we're here,
Just gone. Just mentally gone.
I mean, I played John Mayer to revive me, and it's still not working. Don't worry, everyone. I'll cut in John Mayer's Wildfire earlier for you guys at home. They don't have to listen to it here. But this is the advantage of being the producer of the podcast.
I just think this is a bad melody.
It's not a catchy song
No.
at all. It's definitely a filler, I feel.
And there's a lot of these songs on the second half are Travis doing the what are they, 16th notes on the hi-hat, like,
Yeah.
over and over again for different segments of it.
The like New Order beat.
Yeah.
The-
Yeah, exactly. Which he does it to accentuate songs earlier in their career, like very sparingly, but there's a lot of that here.
I feel like if someone told me that Wildfire was their favorite song off the deluxe edition, I would just call them a liar. Because there's way better songs on this album.
There's one answer, and it's 35 seconds long.
I don't know what you're talking about yet. Maybe we'll get to it.
We're not looking at the track listing.
Now, the real question is, how does that tie in with John Mayer?
Oh, shit.
I mean, he wrote the song. He wrote all of Blink 182's songs.
Rumor says that that's what he said to one of the members of Blink.
What if I get him canceled for that, and then they get canceled for this? And it's
Hasn't
like,
John
fuck.
Mayer been canceled like a few times?
Yeah, he's somehow very lucky.
Yeah.
Came out okay.
He's got a history.
It's that middle-aged mom market.
Yeah, well, him and
Yeah.
David Cross will have to hang out now from what I've done to them.
Yeah. This episode, we're just ruining dudes left and right here.
I mean, this is an album about Mark reacting to a ruined dude. So you two said you like Angels and Airwaves a lot.
I fucking love Angels and Airwaves.
We saw them live in 2019, right before the pandemic, in
Hell yeah.
Silver Springs, Maryland.
I was at that show.
Yo,
What?
Real, shut the fuck up.
Shut the
That was the show. Yeah.
The Fillmore?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yo.
I've talked about that a couple times. Yeah.
Wait, okay,
was-
where were you standing? And I'm trying to like figure out how close we would have
We
been.
were on like the center right, like in the floor. Like,
I was like far in the back. At the I don't like the Fillmore. Drinks are like $19.
Oh, yeah, I didn't like it either,
Yeah,
but
true.
I love Tom. And I was like, I got to get as close to that man as
And
possible.
I didn't go with anybody. So I just I stood in the back and I had a Gatorade bottle in my jacket with whiskey.
Nice.
Yeah.
punk as fuck, dude.
29 years old, still or I guess I was 28, still drinking whiskey out of a Gatorade bottle.
You were trying to take from Tom's inspiration and get kicked out for drinking where you weren't supposed to.
This sounds like a Boxcar Racer song.
6/8?
I love this one.
Is this in 6/8 time? Why is
Yeah.
it called that? Is it?
Maybe it's a date where they met John Mayer.
4, 5, 6.
Whoa.
1, 2,
June
3.
8th.
Isn't that like kind of similar to an AFI song, like 6 to 8? Or wait, no, I might be thinking of a different one.
No, I think you're right.
Well, there's also Chicago 25 or 6 to 4, which is a weird time.
Didn't you know?
So Mark said about this song, this is the strangest song Blink has ever recorded. It's in 6/8 time. It's aggressive and one of our favorites from the Deluxe because of it.
I like this one.
I definitely think Fuck a Dog in the Ass is a stranger song that Blink has recorded. Or When You Fucked Grandpa. Or It'd Be Nice If Your Mom Gave Me a Blowjob. There's a lot weirder songs out there.
Just About Done from their Cheshire Cat album is
Benoit Balls.
Yes.
Oh, Benoit is one of my favorites.
A lot of the final tracks from Cheshire Cat are probably the weirdest things.
Yeah, where they like assumed people weren't listening anymore. And they just did
Well,
whatever they
yeah,
wanted.
fuck it. We're just gonna dig around.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you still got it. I love it. I believe that's the second one.
I don't know what this is.
It's a little doodad that they did together during I believe the Untitled era.
Wait,
okay.
is it untitled or self-titled?
No,
'Cause I hear
that's
people
way
say
earlier.
both.
That's in Dude Ranch.
Really?
Okay.
Doesn't
That
Mark have-
far back?
Yeah, because Mark's got bleached hair.
Oh shit!
Oh, he looks like a baby.
So Ripley just typed in Blink-182, I'm gay.
More fans will know this.
There's another video from the Neighborhoods era where him and Tom went back to like their little like mini songs that they do together, and Show Me How to Get Down.
Yeah.
And it was actually pretty sick. I don't know what else to say about that, but
y'all showed up with some extensive knowledge about some stuff that I didn't even know about.
I love my blank.
Glad to hear it.
Something that's been really cool about doing this podcast is finding out how many other people there are that are just like, this band is super important too.
Right, yeah, we're not really like weirdos. We just are weirdos for wanting to put it on a microphone.
Yeah. And people from all different,
people who aren't even into this music anymore and stuff.
Still found Blink to be really important.
Uh-huh.
I feel like a lot of people who aren't like, oh, I love Blink-182. If I talk to somebody about Blink-182, it always goes back to American Pie.
Oh.
And that's where, like, it's just kind of like, oh, yeah, it was the song in the American Pie movie, right? I'm like, yes, you're right.
Yes.
I feel like if it wasn't for Blink-182, that a lot of these like the 2000s era, like emo pop punk bands, like they wouldn't be around. A lot of the modern day pop punk bands, like Mom Jeans or the Wonder Years,
Definitely.
Shit, just they wouldn't exist without Blink-182. And
No. All right, let's hear their cover of Bowling for Soup's I'm Gay.
I don't know. This kind of
This isn't it, is it?
I think eventually they start doing the song.
No, you're right. This must have
You
been.
need to put a couple measures in the beginning. It has to go. Count this, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wait.
So yeah, you're
No.
right. It's Untitled era.
Shit. I didn't know they would add all this other shit though.
I thought it was gonna be like some weird thing because you were having us both count it. It was gonna be like something hard. It's 4 measures. It's just a double check,
Because I can't count.
Oh, he's so cute.
I'm gay. So what? Don't judge
My butt.
my butt. I'm gay. So what? Don't judge my butt.
Whoa.
knew there were more treasures to unearth.
Definitely better than anything on this. Long lost feeling.
This is when I lose track of how these songs.
Yeah, this is my bathroom break song. Y'all keep talking.
When so many of these deluxe ones start out with the same type of guitar line too, of the dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun,
Yeah.
like this, the Stay Together for the Kids type thing.
It's like, this is going to be an emotional song. You can tell by the intro.
Yeah. Like he really puts it on Front Street. You don't even have to listen to the lyrics. So what's your favorite Angels and Airwaves album?
Oh,
Or era?
Shit. That's
It's
a
a
lot of
tie
pressure.
between We Don't Need a Whisper and I Empire, for
I
sure.
Empire is what introduced me
Okay.
to Angels and Airwaves, so I feel like I'm nostalgic specifically for that
I
one.
Empire is definitely a more upbeat album, but they have remarkable tracks on there. We
Even
don't
love part 1 and part 2. Fucking literally,
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
give a shit. Angels and Airwaves put out something, I'll listen to it. I don't give a shit. So good.
We've already recorded our Angels and Airwaves episode, which will come out after this.
Ooh.
And when Everything's Magic came on, I was like, great song. And I was about to say, this is probably my favorite song of all these we're about to discuss, and the other 3 people in the room were like, this one isn't that good. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm not gonna vibe with everybody on this
a-
My
conversation.
opinions to myself then, all right?
it's a good like amusement park fun time song. Like, we're all in a great mood.
Yeah.
Let's get on the roller coaster and have fun.
I thought I loved Angels and Airwaves, but I really just love We Don't Need to Whisper and Everything's Magic.
It's funny because
Magic is so good, though.
the Angels and Airwaves episode comes out after this, but we've already recorded it.
Yeah.
I haven't stopped listening to Angels and Airwaves.
That's what happened
like-
with We Don't Need to Whisper.
Yeah.
But then once we got past that, I was just like, I don't...
No, Life Forms is just fucking amazing.
Yes! I've got
It
an
is a
online
good-ass
arguments with
album.
people about this.
Yeah, it's up there with Dogs Eating Dogs and Untitled as some of Tom's best music, in my opinion. I fucking love it. I mean, yeah. We'll talk about it more next week, but last week. But
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. So what's y'all's favorite Blink album?
Fuck, that's really hard.
Untitled. No hesitation.
Untitled definitely has some of the best tracks, most emotional tracks of all time. But as far as like kind of like a heavier, like take no shit kind of album, I definitely like Dude Ranch a lot. Like,
Classic.
Something that blows my mind, we've had probably, 7 or 8 guests on this show, maybe more. Not a single person has said Enema.
Whoa.
And I love Enema.
It's
up
great.
there. It's fucking perfect.
It
It's
has
what got us all
so
into
many
them.
fucking singles on there, but I just feel like it's more hyped than a lot of the other albums, and that kind of draws me away from it.
Yeah,
All right,
a
and
little
this is bottom of the barrel. I mean, bottom of the ocean.
Just like this album.
I'm trying to think. I guess Cheshire Cat would probably follow, honestly, for me after Untitled.
That's so cool. I appreciate that there are people that are way more into the early albums than I am.
My favorite Blink-182 song is Eminem's.
Cool.
Hands down.
It's
Very
a
early
great
shit. I
song.
love it.
Great
It's one of
song.
my favorites. Cannot get enough of that one.
That's my favorite off that album for sure.
So good.
What's
Peggy Sue's my favorite on that album.
Ooh, yes. That one's really good.
Wasting Time. That was
Wasting
the
Time.
song I was trying
Cheshire
to think
Cat's
of.
a better album than I remember.
What about Ben Wallballs?
That one's honestly one of my favorite joke songs.
Classic.
Hey, I have a question. Do you think Anthony Kiedis saw that Blink-182 was releasing an album called California and went, oh, genius. Why didn't I think of that?
I feel as though it became a competition afterwards. Who could make the most California references? And they're just keeping tallies to this day.
I'm just sick of hearing about the state of California. Stop singing about California, every band.
Well, one day it's going to fall into the ocean and then we'll never have to hear about it
Sing
again.
about Wyoming or some shit. I don't know. Mix it
Yeah.
up.
Well, you're here on the other coast. Of course, you're just hyping up the beef. Why don't you go to Wyoming for some
East
punk
Coast.
shows?
We could really use a good East Coast, West Coast, beef beef like early hip hop days.
Yeah, I want to see an
Pop
East Coast, West
East
Coast,
Coast,
pop punk
West
scene.
Coast. We can even do Deep South, Midwest. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you gotta have the. Well, no, I guess that's more if you get into like the emo thing.
I mean, that's
Midwest pop punk.
That's my biggest problem with the internet is that it has taken away local sounds. You don't have East Coast and West Coast hip hop anymore. You just have hip hop.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have like Minneapolis no longer has its own sound of pop punk because there's just pop punk.
Right.
I feel like Virginia would have an amazing scene. Like,
I mean, you get a
Well,
really.
I would say it does, depending on
Yeah.
where you're at. I mean, if you're like bumfuck nowhere, there's probably not a lot going on. There's still kids out there trying, but
say, yo, fuck California. Listen to this shit.
I mean, Virginia was a breeding ground for a lot of early hardcore stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Minor Threat was from Virginia, as much as they want to say they were from DC.
Right.
Right.
Like they lived in Alexandria.
I mean, motherfucking Guar.
Yeah,
And-
Guar.
The Beats
Oh, fuck yeah.
from Doug.
They from Richmond?
Well, Doug's based on Richmond.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What?
What's
I thought everybody was like the weird, just fucking. Hey, did you know Doug was based in this area?
What?
Yeah, the mall they go and hang out with is one of the malls. Hang out at is one of the supposed to be
Killer
one of the malls
Tofu,
around
10
here.
out of 10. Slaps.
Yeah. Banging on a trash can, drumming on a street light.
You learn something
I
new
need
every
more
day.
allowance.
This sounds like Fall Out Boy.
All right.
Here we go.
That Infinity
Best
on High
song.
area.
Great punk rock go at the beginning.
I just wonder what they meant by that title. Like, what do you fucking mean?
Let's
What?
let him explain.
But wait,
Can't get you more pregnant.
If you're worried at all, I can take care of myself.
I got a confession to make. I don't get it.
I just like.
Let's take
I'm on
another
the same
listen and see
page.
if you get it this time.
Okay, I'll try this time. So I know he's saying that he knows that he can't get someone more pregnant.
Well, you can't really get double pregnant.
Right? Okay.
I mean, that would be an interesting TLC kind of fucking.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was pregnant kind of deal.
Well, like double pregnant would be like you're like 3 months along and then you get pregnant again.
With a baby 3 months younger than
So like they have to do
Or
a
like
weird
cats.
procedure to like take out the first baby and then 3 months later
Like,
the other
keep
baby.
this one in there, though.
Yeah.
I feel like at that point you should just like get a vasectomy if you're getting girls double pregnant.
double pregnant.
Wait, vasectomy, vasectomy.
So what's the joke?
Can't get her more pregnant.
And
But if you're worried, I can take care of myself.
as in I'll jerk off so you don't have to fuck me?
Yeah, man. If you're anxious about, like, you're already knocked up, but if you're anxious about it, I'll be over here. Give me like 5
he's
minutes.
trying to fuck someone without a condom
Oh.
who's already pregnant.
I
But like,
see.
I can't get you more pregnant.
Uh-huh. So the joke was already there in the title. I was relying on the second half of the lyrics to provide some context. All right, so this is the acoustic Bored to Death, which sounds exactly like the acoustic Everlong at first.
Yeah.
And Everlong is one of the best rock songs ever. And this made me... I was very surprised by this because I was like... A lot of great songs, you even if they're like big rock songs, you can break down to just an acoustic version and they work as just a song like this. And I wouldn't have thought of Blink working that way. And I wonder if Mark writes the songs like this, like all of these. Like, is this what they sound like when it's just they're throwing ideas around?
I don't know, but so the reason for there's a lot of acoustic versions of Bored to Death and other things from this album because once again, they had to tour the album. They had to tour it in countries that you can't get to by driving. And Mark and Matt just did an acoustic tour of Europe. So, without Travis, because they couldn't get Travis and Brooks had chosen sides with Tom. So, it's, there's a lot of videos of them doing like an acoustic tour for this, and they really don't play many of the old songs at all.
Interesting.
Because you can't.
Uh-huh.
They do a lot of Cure covers and Violent Femmes covers, and they do an Alkaline Trio song or two. It's actually pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, I'd go to see that. That
I'd
sounds
be down
dope.
for that.
I'd buy that MTV Unplugged.
Yeah. So when they get to this part, every time what I realize is like, oh, we made such a big deal of all the millennial whoops on the first half of this album, and there aren't a ton. There's like 2 maybe on the entire second half of the deluxe. They like it was as if Feldman was like, no, this sound of the millennial whoop, the is what's gonna carry us through to success.
Because it's on almost every song of the original version.
Yeah, it's so weird. But I think Mark sounds really good here. I think he should do more songs where he's like doesn't have to scream and belt it out a lot.
I'd love an acoustic Mark solo album.
Yeah, me too. He's a good songwriter.
Because, I mean, he has admitted in recent days, like, especially post-cancer, that, like, I know the lyrics are bad on the last 2 things. I've been in love and happily married and with kids, and things are great for me.
What do I have to complain about?
Yeah, what do I have to write songs about?
It's like Billy Joe saying, like, all of my angry, sad songs are about ex-girlfriends from before I was 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he, cancer is a terrible thing. And it's fucking amazing that he got through that and has been so positive.
Wait, Mark has to tell us something. Oh, sorry. There's one more of these. But he has a message specifically for us, the hosts of Take Off Your Pot and Cast It. At least that's how I'm going to take this. Because we're seeking his validation. Yes, Mark?
Hey, you guys did great.
Oh, thanks. Mark. Thanks, Mark. That was nice. We're really not done yet. If you could just let us finish the episode. But you're saying we did great. I guess we got to cut it now.
All right,
Jeez.
wrap it up.
I understand.
He's like, you're done.
He's a busy man. He's got shit to do.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, we can't get this pod more pregnant.
No,
Why do we need to wrap it up?
But he, it's amazing that he's cancer free now and that he's gotten through that. I would really like to hear those emotions in his new songs.
Yeah.
I'd really love to hear him explore things that he hasn't explored previously.
Yeah.
You're fucking Mark Hoppus. This is Blink-182. I'm gonna listen to it whether or not it's happy and positive and summery.
Totally.
Just make what's in your heart,
Yeah.
I want a Mark Hoppus goth album. I would listen to the...
what's the band he did with the guy from Avenged Sevenfold?
I don't know about this.
There's an EP that he did of like new wave stuff. The same month that 9 came out.
Cameron's really good at music trivia, so hold up.
Are you sure it's Avenged Sevenfold and not the that little like pop duo he did with
Alex Skarsgård.
Yeah,
That's what you're thinking of. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know if that. No. What the fuck was the name of that group? I'm trying to remember.
Simple Creatures with
Simple
All Time
Creatures.
Low, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
They released an EP, Strange Love.
It was really good.
In
I liked it.
2019.
All Time Low, produced by John Feldman.
Yeah.
Okay.
The band that got
Full
Feldman
circle.
famous as a producer.
Okay.
Connection.
So that's the deluxe edition of California.
All right.
But there's more things we want to talk about, and the reason, other than y'all being great folks that we always love
And
to
being
talk
in
to,
the area.
y'all were at the Lil Wayne incident.
My claim to fame.
So touring the 20th anniversary in 2019, they were touring the 20th anniversary of Enema of the State.
Which, that was tacked on later. They announced the tour, and ticket sales were so low that they then started to say, we're going to start playing Enema all the way through. And that's what beefed up ticket sales. Because it was like booked for amphitheaters and stuff.
Yeah.
Headline with Lil Wayne. And from what I understand, a lot of Lil Wayne fans were like, he's touring with Blink? I'm really not interested.
I mean, yeah, that's what it was. It was marked as a headlining tour, a big deal that Blink and Lil Wayne were touring together. And the idea was that it was going to like hit the nostalgia button for people our age.
For two different types of...
For two very different types of music, though. Yeah. And Blink fans are still going to go regardless who else is playing. Lil Wayne fans are not going to go regardless of who else is playing.
Early reviews of the tour say that Lil Wayne he didn't feel like an opening act. He felt like entirely a separate own thing from Blink-182. He did 7 shows before performing in Bristow, Virginia and I'm going to let you two take it over from here.
So, when we got there, originally we weren't even sure it was going to go on because it was storming so fucking bad that they were thinking about canceling it that day.
It was fucking terrible.
So we were sitting in the parking lot, just in the downpour, just like, please fucking pass over because we drove all the way up here. We want to see the fucking show.
Do you have seats? Is it?
Yeah, so it was. There was
was
like
outdoors,
a field that you could like general admission lawn seats, but it was like
It was the
whatever.
Jiffy Lube Live.
Yeah, Jiffy Lube Live. And long story short, rain passed. Things were
You
great.
don't have to make it short.
It's the weather. I'm not talking about the fucking weather.
Give us the entire weather report, please.
So it was like 80 degrees that day. Set the scene.
Neck Deep opened the whole show, and they were
great.
phenomenal. And it was just surreal seeing them live. And they were talking about like how much of an honor it was to play before Blink 182, which is understandable.
Oh, and Lil Wayne's fine, I guess.
Yeah, and I felt awful after the show because there were people legit who specifically only went there for Lil Wayne. They suffered through Neck Deep to see Lil Wayne.
I love that you're giving conclusive proof of how different the factions of fans are here
Yes.
as you're calling him Little Wayne.
Little Wayne.
My bad. I'm white as fuck. I'm sorry.
It was so next to me was this lady. We'd gotten talking because she had specifically showed up for Lil Wayne. We were talking about it. I loved Lil Wayne when I was younger, so I was like, hell yeah, this is gonna be a sick lineup, like nostalgia AF.
I was actually pretty hype about it too because he was the biggest name in hip hop back when
It just
I
brings
was
me
in
back
high
to middle school and high school, and I loved it.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, the song with Lil Jon, like Lil Wayne, his big year was 2002 when Untitled came out. That was when he really rose to fame. I mean, he had always been pretty big, but like his MTV days.
He had that song Fireman back in, what was it, like 2004? And that was before like Lollipop and the Carter 3 or whatever the fuck it was called. That was the big one.
And so when did they release the mashup? That was before the tour, to hype the tour up,
It was
right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What do we think of the mashup?
I liked it. It was very nostalgic for me, so I was like,
both
hell
of those
yeah.
songs. So I remember the day it came out, we had band practice, and Ripley and Mikey were vehemently against it.
I like the concept.
A millionaire, I'm a young money millionaire, tougher than Nigerian. Here my criteria compared to
When I was listening to this earlier, I couldn't tell if it was all just a remix or if they re-recorded it. But here saying Skiba Play, it's probably re-recorded,
Yeah,
right?
because it's played worse than Tom plays it, so it's got to be Skiba.
Not that Tom ever played it that great.
It's really hard to play.
Yeah.
I like how they just like recorded this live too. They didn't have enough time to like edit it out, get better vocals or...
I hate that Matt doesn't do the harmonies.
Oh, yeah. So Lil Wayne comes up. You're waiting for Lil Wayne. What's the vibe?
Everybody's getting excited because more people are showing up. A lot of people didn't give a shit about Neck Deep. A lot of bands or a lot of shows. The openers, you see more people coming in. Not everybody's there to see everybody. So by the time Lil Wayne is set to play, pretty full. He's out for maybe like 3 or 4 songs. So we're all getting hyped, just like, hell yeah, it's Lil Wayne, dude.
So it feels like a good show.
Yeah, so far so good.
Everything seemed normal. Like
People
it
are
was just-
still working their way in during his set, though.
Yeah, because
Yes.
the rain fucked everything up. To get in was so backed up. There were people who were still in line trying to get in by the time he left.
To see
who
Lil
were
Wayne.
pissed.
Yeah, I
they
bet.
were so mad. But he had only performed like 3 or 4 songs. Halfway through the next song, he started like, from where we were at, we couldn't tell what he was saying. But it sounded like he was mumbling something and then walked off stage. And then just, we're like, okay, maybe like a little break or something.
It happened so abruptly. It took us like legit like 10 or 15 minutes to process like, holy shit,
Because
he
he
just
didn't
like
come
left. He was just like, this ain't my vibe, I'm done. And then just like walked off stage, and then we're just like, that was weird. Is he coming back to just surprise people?
Like
or?
15, 20 minutes after that, Blink is like rushed onto the stage, and then they start their shit.
Interesting.
And Mark had made a statement like beforehand saying what it was like, I'm sorry, blah blah, shit happens kind of thing.
It was along the lines of, it's like, don't you love it when someone signs a contract and doesn't fulfill the contract, and then start playing another song?
Tom.
The tea is hot.
Wow.
Oh wait, shit! Is this a clip?
Yeah, we've got a little clip.
We weren't that close, by the way.
Yeah, we could not afford those tickets.
I just want the people to know, if you're wondering, please forgive me, but I am so not used to performing to a crowd and there's not too many, like still phone. That's not my swag. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna be able to do this tour, but make some noise for Blink-182 for including me anyway. This might be my last night though. Let's go.
So he says that before his last song.
I don't think it was. He said it'll be my last night. This is still like 12 minutes into his set. He's pissed that people are walking in while he's starting, and that like he's clearly like an opening act. He's not happy being an opener.
He goes on to...
I mean, it was advertised as more of a co-headlining thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The early reviews of the tour were like, this is two completely different shows that are great.
I think it just ended up being more people for Blink than for Lil Wayne.
As the tour went on, he would not show up to like 3 other shows. And he
eventually quit, right?
Yes, he eventually leaves the tour. His representatives say that it has nothing to do with ticket sales or anything like that. But like the ones he straight up ghosts are the shows that have sold the least tickets, just coincidentally.
Yeah,
it's just weird how that works out. You know?
So you're saying like if it were a comic strip, the entire audience for like 20 minutes just had like a question mark over their heads.
Correct.
Maybe it could have just been us, just fucking dumb as shit in the crowd. But I feel like that. Yeah.
I feel like it took some time for people to process what the fuck just happened.
Because eventually people started making their way out. The people who were there for Lil Wayne.
Whoa.
But it was just like everybody kind of like, okay, that was weird.
And then people finally arriving, and then they were like, wait, what happened to Lil Wayne? Like, oh, he just left. And they were just like, are you fucking kidding me? What?
Wow.
Feel bad for
It
that
didn't
lady.
make a lot of sense to me either. And like, I was less excited for this show than if it had just been Blink-182. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want a Blink-182 headlining show. I don't want a and I want a regular Lil Wayne show. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'd be more excited to see either of them separately than seeing them together.
Yeah, I mean, Blink-182 was our focus. Lil Wayne was a bonus.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, hell yeah, that sounds sick.
I wonder if it was like their attempt at like an Aerosmith Run DMC like duo show.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, it's 20 years after me seeing Aerosmith and Kid Rock, so it's just the next generation of that.
Please tell me they didn't do Walk This Way together.
They didn't, but I wish they had.
I honestly, I'd love to hear that.
So you just see, like, after a few minutes, they start taking his stuff off the stage and like setting up for Blink. And,
It was,
or was it already set up and they just pulled a curtain and Blink was there?
There was a little like a fucking around on the stage.
Yeah.
But
I think they were trying to convince him to come back.
like, please get your ass on this fucking stage, bro.
Right. Do you want to get paid? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there are court documents about this because it was like it didn't become a lawsuit, but he was forced to pay out for this contract. He lost money on this because he signed a fucking contract to be on this tour. The rest of the tour did not sell very well because neither of them can fill stadiums anymore. Like, I'm curious what's going to happen if Blink comes back with Matt, where they'll play. Because they're not big enough to play Jiffy Lube live anymore. Right. You know?
You know where that would have worked is if they happened to be right after each other at a festival. Like when a bunch of people are there for a bunch of different artists, that would have rocked a one-off show to just be in front of a stage all day and see Lil Wayne and then Blink-182.
Oh yeah,
but
definitely
very weird billing that way. So you saw Blink put on a good show with Skiba?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, honestly, even if it was a bad show, it was still going to be good.
They fucking killed it.
It was my first time seeing Blink live, so I was very hyped.
Hell yeah.
They had like a mini acoustic show. I
saw that. They went out in the crowd.
Oh yeah, it was so exciting.
It was
not near us at all, but it was still exciting for the other people.
And Travis Barker did his little like drum
walking
kit
around
flip thing, and it was very surreal. I'm very convinced that Travis Barker's not even from this planet, honestly.
That's why he and Tom got along so well.
I'm a man.
Aliens do exist.
I played with one. I looked at the set list of what you saw. The only stuff they did off of California was Bored to Death and Built This Pool. Hit it.
Yep.
I wanna see some naked dudes. That's why I built this pool.
But I'm pretty jealous you got to see Built This Pool live.
It was pretty sick.
It was nice.
Yeah. Was that the only time you've seen Blink as well, Tam?
Absolutely. But I'm just...
We're holding out for that Untitled album tour.
Right.
That's what I'm waiting on.
I saw an Untitled 10-year anniversary show where they did Untitled all the way through.
I think it's going to be a 20th anniversary, and it's going to happen in November.
That would be fucking awesome.
With Tom.
I would lose my fucking shit.
Yeah. It only makes sense.
I've been noticing that they respond to each other's like social media and
I follow
stuff
Tom
a
on
lot more
Instagram. He's always like
often.
tagging Mark and shit. I'm like, ooh, we friends again. We like public friends, not just, hey, how you doing? Hope everything's going good kind of thing.
It's a nice Instagram show, but until there's an album or a tour, I'm cautiously optimistic.
It has now been 10 years since Blink-182 made an album with Tom DeLonge, and Matt Skiba has been in the band for 7 years.
Wow.
Which makes me feel incredibly old.
Definitely.
Though, thinking about it, if MCR can get back together, Tom can rejoin Blink-182.
Definitely.
Totally. I've been meaning to clarify this. So the one time you've seen Blink was at the Free Fest?
Yeah.
Okay. Just we had never said that specifically, so I just wanted to see if there was another time we forgot to talk about.
Seen AVA, seen Plus 44. No, wait, I didn't see Plus 44. I saw Angels and Airwaves. I wanted to see Plus 44, but I think I was bored by the time they came around.
Right. Bored to death. And that's it for California. We visited California. It was warm. It was sunny, and it sucked our soul out, just like California is good for. I hope everybody enjoyed listening to that.
Yeah, we hope that you don't Lil Wayne after this episode. Stick with us. There's just one more.
If they did that, they would have left halfway through.
Yeah.
They would have left 4 tracks into California.
4 minutes in, out.
Yeah.
It's not my vibe. I'm dipping.
Y'all, I mean, thanks for doing the show.
Yeah.
I really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for inviting us.
Of course.
Anything you'd like to plug? Any last words? Any strong opinions? Anyone else you'd like to cancel? We've got David Cross and John Mayer today. So, anything like that?
Ooh, I wish I had that. This is something I should have researched. You can't put me on the spot.
No.
Just if there was something bubbling under your skin, you needed to get out there. Or you could just plug your Instagram handles or whatever. Whatever you want to do.
Don't even follow me. I don't have fucking interesting shit to say.
Okay.
I just wish John Mayer would write a better Blink-182 album.
Yeah. They replaced Tom with John Mayer.
I mean, it would have been. It worked for the Grateful Dead.
It worked for the Grateful Dead. Yeah.
Dude Ranch Part 2, written by John Mayer.
I'm ready. I'm here for it. I feel like I had some joke to go out on that I forgotten that I didn't write down, but trust me, everyone, it was a banger.
It's hilarious. You told me it before we recorded.
But you've forgotten it too.
Yeah.
Were you two ever on the Batman podcast? You were, right?
We helped
We
you,
were.
you, Sean, and Otto doing the script reading.
Yes.
But not ever officially on. It was mostly you guys using that for a timing thing, I think.
Okay. Yes. Well, I try to plug something different every episode, and I've not plugged this yet. So you two helped out with a project that I've found myself in for a decade now that I'm ready to come to an end. But I'm no longer in control of what can be done on this. But it was a podcast called Project Batman, where you can hear me and 2 other people write a script from inception to completion over the course of 50 episodes. And then the podcast became a effort to turn it into an animated film or an audio drama, and it's beyond me at this point. I'm just the podcast editor and screenwriter. I can't do anything, but it was interesting, and you two helped out with that process and were around when I was doing that a lot. So I just thought now would be a good time to plug that if anyone wants to check that out.
Yeah.
Other than that,
no, I just want to plug May 7th at Castleberg Brewery in Richmond, Virginia. I will be headlining Game of Jokes. It's I don't know if we've talked about it much. I do stand-up comedy sometimes, and it's my first headlining show. So if you're a fan of the podcast, I don't talk about Blink-182 in my set, but maybe stop by.
Yeah, I'll be on that show
Might
too.
be able to work out a John Mayer joking. You got time.
Yeah.
Ripley's trying to get me to go up and just talk to them on stage for our sets about Blink-182.
Do it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I have no material at the moment. All I talk about is
You got time.
all I do is talk about 9/11 on stage, so maybe that'll go over better.
Hilarious.
I think it's hilarious too. Thank you for the validation.
I got you.
And with that, we hope that you got more pregnant.